Welcome back to Grazeland. Today we are going to be sprouting some jackfruit seeds. So this is footage from the house I used to live in, and it's just been crazy up here rehabbing house. I'm slowly getting caught up, and it's so fun getting some of these videos edited. So basically just went to a hippie store, natural grocers type of thing. You might have to call around and see if your grocery store carries them. If they do, they're only going to have one or two maybe on hand. And a lot of times they're not even on the fruit tables, they're actually under the fruit tables. So even if they do have them, you have to hunt for them. So jackfruit is commonly used as a alternative to meat for people that are vegans. And then if you're wondering what they taste like, if you've ever tried juicy fruit gum, basically the flavor for juicy fruit gum was inspired by jackfruit. So it's kind of close to that. Also, the darker the yellow, the better it's going to taste. And if it's moldy on the outside, it doesn't necessarily mean the jackfruit is bad. So the first thing you need to do is separate the seeds from the jackfruit. This is a tedious process. One thing about jackfruit is it actually doesn't like being eaten, apparently, because the outside of it has like these little spines on it. And if you're holding it for a long time, carrying it around in the store, it'll actually make little red dots on your skin. And then also, it's really sticky on the inside. A way to help with cleanup is using gloves. And then also, if you put a little bit of coconut oil on your knife, it makes your knife a lot easier to clean when you're done. But we're just going to go ahead and separate all the seeds. Also, I want to warn you about just buying seeds on the internet, especially Amazon. I actually bought jackfruit seeds at one point in time on Amazon, and it took several months to arrive. And by the time it finally arrived, it wasn't even jackfruit seeds. You can see the seeds here, and I apologize. I did have photos of the seeds that they sent. It wasn't even a jackfruit. I don't know what kind of seed it was, but it wasn't a jackfruit. And Amazon's response when trying to get a refund was saying that the time for your refund is expired, even though I literally just got the seeds in the mail that day. But they slow both from China. So yeah, don't buy seeds on Amazon. That's dangerous. And you're going to get scammed. But you're going to want to separate the seeds and try to find seeds that didn't get nicked or scratched or cut open. Sometimes when you're cut open the jackfruit, you take a chunk out of the seed and pile them all up on a paper towel. And they have like a little skin on the seeds, and you don't really have to take those off. I do just because I like making them look nice and clean. You can just leave them on. When they sprout, they can pop through that pretty easily. But just get yourself a paper towel and put them on the paper towel, then wrap it. Then you want to get like a Ziploc bag. Also, if you have reusable containers, you could probably use that as well. You just want to put it in a position to where the air can't escape, and so it gets to be a little bit humid inside it, like a sauna. And a Ziploc bag works perfect for that. So just put your paper towel with the seeds wrapped inside the paper towel inside the Ziploc bag. Then get yourself some water and add it to the bag. Now you don't want to flood the bag. You just want enough water that it's very damp and all the paper towel is wet. And then you're going to want to close the Ziploc bag, make sure it is sealed completely. Now one strategy you can do is put them in a bowl full of water for 24 hours before you put them in the bag, and that also helps to germinate them quicker as well. And you can check on it every couple days if you want. Jackfruit is a very slow growing tree, so it's going to take some time before they finally start to sprout. But you're welcome to pull the bag out occasionally and just kind of check on them if you're worried about your new little babies and see if they sprouted, and we'll check. So you can see it cracked open and it actually sprouted a little bit. But we're going to leave it in there and let the rest of them sprout because there's only one or two that split open like that. So just wrap it back up and put it back in the Ziploc bag. Now after about a week, again, it's just going to vary based on how old the seeds are, how well they're absorbed in water. But after about a week for me, this is what I got. And pick the healthiest one. You can see this one right here, it really sprang out. So we're going to go ahead and put this one in a pot. If I can get the camera focused. Sorry about that. There you go. So they sprout, and we're going to plant that into a bucket. And this is in Arizona, by the way. So if you live in Arizona, you can grow these. And something to keep in mind, it's going to take a long time to grow these trees. However, if you do grow a healthy jackfruit tree in an area like Arizona, specifically Phoenix, and these things sell for $20 each at a health food store. So if you're looking for a side hustle, it's going to be a long time for that side hustle, but this is something you could plant in your yard and then have it on a consistent watering system. And eventually, in several years, it's going to start paying back some money for you. But it's going to take a long time for it to start up. But hey, if you're doing multiple projects for trying to make income, this is one of them. So I learned from my mistake in this. I just used potting soil. Now, potting soil does work-ish, kind of. But with tropical plants, you want to have a mixture of your native soil, that's what you're putting it in, and then also sand and lava rock. And just divide it evenly. So what you're trying to avoid here is the biggest danger to these tropical plants is root rot, and that means like the water inside the soil is just hanging out by the root too long. Like the water needs to be able to seep through the soil, touch the roots, and then keep going. Sand and lava rock allows that to happen, especially like if you have real hard clay soil, you're going to need sand and lava rock. But for this situation, these did actually grow in this, so this does work. But when it outgrows this pot and it's time to put it in a bigger pot, definitely need to dilute it with some sand and lava rock. But just fill up your pot to the line. Smush it down, break up the clumps, get it packed in a little bit. You don't have to pack it in like too tight. You still want it to be able to breathe and get water in there, but yeah, getting some of the air out. And then as you water, it's going to also seep down a little bit over time, so you can add dirt throughout the years to get it back up to that line. But we're about an inch from the line, and it's packed down good enough. And then you just put your seed in there. Now when I plant these, I'm wanting that little green part that grew, I want it to go straight down. So point it where the seed is at the top and the green thing is going down, because it's trying to find soil and you're helping him find soil. Then just cover it up. So it's only about an inch, maybe 2 inches from the top of the soil. And that's about all it takes. Now, you're going to have to water it daily. Don't let this thing dry out. But it can be overwatered too, though. This is why it's important to have the sand and lava rock mixed in the pot with your native soil, because you need it to be watered a lot, but you can't let the water sit there on the root. So you can kind of imagine in a tropical zone, it's going to be raining constantly, almost daily, or several times a day. So that water goes through the soil fast, and the way it's able to do that is because of all the lava rock that's naturally there. And also beaches have sand, so obviously there's sand as well. As a bonus, I thought it'd be fun to look at what I had started with the old yard. Sorry, the shaking of the camera a little bit. But I had blueberry bushes, grapevines. Those are 2 seedless grapevines. To the left, that's a lime tree. I had a cacao tree. That's an apple tree. I had 2 fig trees there in the back, and I planted a jackfruit. At this point, there wasn't a jackfruit, but I did buy a jackfruit because I didn't want to wait very long. So I got one that was about 5 feet tall already. And then these 2, I grew 2 in a pot, and both of the ones I grew in the pot, fast forwarding 2 years later, they're about 2 feet tall. There's a peach tree, lemon tree, pomegranate tree. I planted 2 different mango trees. If you're in the Phoenix Valley, look up the Fruit Punch Mango. That orange tree is the best oranges I've ever had in my life. Great compost. I didn't have chickens, so any compost from the kitchen went right down by the orange tree, so that's probably why it had such healthy oranges. Also, I grew a banana tree. If you live in Phoenix, grow a banana tree. Your kids will love it. Sunflowers, those are really easy to grow. I got the big sunflowers. They literally grow taller than the height of the house. And then had a grapefruit tree. Citrus grows really good in Arizona. If you have a yard in Arizona, you gotta grow yourself some citrus. Lemon, limes, oranges, grapefruit. Limes are a great additive to put to seafood if you're cooking it. And homegrown is going to taste 1,000 times better than anything else. So I hope you had fun hanging out with me in my old garden that I was slowly building up. I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.